on Twitter? Anyone?
Just turn off my real mic. I'm still using this. All right, open up your Hootsuite. This is going to be epic. Get ready. So now I've interrupted you. I have broken through the clutter. Is this the clicker? This must be my clicker. All right, so I'm going to talk to you about how to amplify your media spend with social media. Who else in here, who wants a drink right about now? See, I knew that because I researched my audience properly beforehand. So I got that down. I know what you want to hear, what you want to do. I've now interrupted, and now I will persuade you.
I'm an awesome follow. Follow me. Please do what I say. Right now. Seriously, if you got your device open, please follow me. My name is Ian Michael Wolfman. My mother has a sense of humor. Thus, my initials are I am Wolfman, which makes for an awesome Twitter handle and an awesome Facebook, as well as LinkedIn and Google Plus handle. David Perry, wherever you are, shout out Google Plus. I'm here to talk to you today about amplifying your media budget, your marketing spend. So, I kind of, in a very obnoxious way, demonstrated how marketing started for me when I entered the agency world back in the mid-90s. I was in B school, I was with a general agency, I was on some humongous honking brands, and really having a good time. But I looked at it and I said, with the dawn of the internet, and I actually asked the agency principal at this point in time, the founder, and this is a major agency, and I asked him, I said, how's digital? How is all of this digital environment going to change things for brand building, for marketing, the very nature of marketing? And he said to me, I'm sure there's going to be a very strong impact, but that problem's for the next guy. I'm going to be done by then. Okay? He's still there, by the way. Mistake. In any case, he's a passionate individual, stayed in the business. So we've moved from marketing, where our role as marketers is to aggregate audiences, interrupt, break through the clutter, persuade. Okay? What we're going to speak about today are the changes in marketing for the next few minutes, and how our role now more resembles this. Joel from Twitter talked about it before. Frederick from W3 and Mashable spoke about it as well, and how our job is to aggregate, is to help facilitate authentic connections, grouping people together, helping do things that are in line with their shared values, their shared interests, their shared passions. And really that leaves us doing something that's much more meaningful than we used to do 10, 15 years ago. So now for some real housekeeping issues first. I was introduced as one of the principals of agency IMC², which we've been for almost 17 years. We also have IMC² Health and Wellness. Last week we relaunched the agency, the Strategic and Creative Agency, on one side, so we are now agency MEplusYOU. If you want to follow us on Twitter or find us anywhere else, I just don't want there to be any confusion. What this name, this brand launch does for us is really exemplifies what we believe, what the change that I'm speaking about today. We believe that we're here to help foster authentic relationships and connections between brands and people. That's a different role than what I just described and obnoxiously demonstrated on the way in here. So that is our new brand. And about a year or two ago, I was sitting around thinking about this whole soundbite that we're creating authentic connections now as marketers. And I thought to myself, where does that leave us? What were we doing before? Were we creating inauthentic connections? In any case, our panel at Cannes last year was entitled Friends with Benefits. Frederick Towns was on the panel, and that was meant to show what we've come from. Where as marketers, we're fun and friendly with our with our consumers. We're friends with them, but what we're really looking for is the transaction. That's changed. It's real, true, reciprocal, authentic relationships. So I believe we've moved away from friends with benefits to building authentic relationships and authentic connections. So let's talk about how to do that. And where I started was, I thought, what is the definition of a brand relationship with a consumer? What does it mean for a consumer and a brand to be in a relationship? I can define this. I can say, Frederick Towns earlier, I'm friends with him in industry. We've spoken at a few things together. I know where he lives in Florence and spends his time with his wife. I can actually define it. I can break it down into timelines. So I thought to myself, what are the core elements? And I came up with 4. And I'm going to walk you through those 4 and talk about how they've changed and evolved. And when I say this, I don't mean that they've been replaced and they're no longer relevant. The model that I'm thinking of actually includes these, but has now transcended those as well. So we've been elevated to a greater role, and I believe that's happened because of social media. The confluence of digital, social, mobile, etc. into media, into consumer life. So the first is, there's 4 things that define a brand relationship with the consumer. 1, I have used the product or service. That's one element of a brand relationship. But now it also includes brand content. We've talked a lot about that. Some of you may have seen Coca-Cola's piece, how they basically have laid out that they're going to be content creators, curators, distributors moving forward. Okay, so that's 1. But now it includes brand content as well. So now brands must be content creators, curators, and distributors. 2 is the point of sale. Commerce, at the shelf. P&G calls it the first moment of truth, at the shelf. But now it includes digital browsing, social browsing with your friends, and commerce experience. The 3rd is word of mouth. Word of mouth is still there, and it was always the most high trust form of product and service recommendations. The difference now is it was never scalable like it is now. And it is getting more and more scalable as some of the startups that you've spoken to today, these marketing technology platforms, just keep creating more and more innovative ways to leverage word-of-mouth marketing and share it with the community, share it with people that care. So still highest trust, but now highly scalable. And last, where the lion's share of the money's been spent. And there's this saying in market that CMOs have become CPOs, Chief Promotional Officers, because they're not in charge of the 4 Ps anymore. They've been in charge of 1 P, promotion, spending that ad budget, getting that return on investment on a quarterly and a monthly basis. I think that's actually social, and this evolution is actually giving the other Ps back to the marketers, okay, from product development back in front. But what we've moved from is what I demonstrated with the bullhorn coming on here. It's unilateral, one way, interruptive, persuasive, promotional media, okay? You hear in market now that we moved into a dialogue. I actually think this is a misnomer too. We were in a dialogue in the late 90s for like that, where you could email a brand and they'd email you back. That is a dialogue, that's 2 entities. What we have right now is an always-on multilateral conversation that's happening out there. Sometimes our brands are listening, sometimes they're participating, sometimes they're just listening in horror. But the point is, as I said on the panel earlier, it's happening out there. You don't have a choice. With all due respect, it's happening. We have shared brands. The notion of brands being developed is a shared process, that we're better off being facilitators of that process as brands, spending our money there. So these are the 4, so now considering the 4 ways we've changed, let's get to how do we activate on this. And some of you may have seen a variation of this model. Forrester released the paid, owned, and earned model a few years ago. Coca-Cola and some of our clients have worked to evolve it to define shared media as well. The details aren't important for this presentation. The idea is that when I speak to marketers, even some of my CMO clients, they say, sure, I get the POSE model, but what do I do differently? And that's what we need to get at the heart at today. So let's just get to some key takeaways. I've just got 3. 1, fundamental. Social media has changed the way that marketers play a role with consumers out there. This is not a new channel. This is not a new technology or even a trend. This has fundamentally changed the role of marketers in the marketplace and what we can do. And we can actually do things beyond talking at people and persuading people. We can actually make the world a better place as agreed upon, as congruent between the consumer and the marketer. And that's just an incredibly exciting thing today. Second, the new marketing spend optimization model is you need to look before you optimize your paid. You still need to optimize across channel, creative unit, etc. on paid. You need to be exceptionally good at doing that. But before you do that, we need to architect platforms that look at maximizing spend, both for financial and non-financial ROI, from the pay to own and shared and earned model. And the last is a more complete ROI, okay? And that is that the CFOs out in the world have to work with the marketers now. There are other metrics around brand love, brand trust. We look at three components: credibility, care, and congruency with values that equal trust. So we need to look at more than just the simple ROI metrics, the start and stop campaigns of the past. And I think we're all headed in that direction. So thanks for your time today. And I hope you guys realize that was definitely a joke. I don't believe in marketing that way. Thank you very much. Ian Wolfman.